I've spent hundreds of hours flying, and this is everything I never leave the ground without. This is a bog bag that somebody gave me as a gift. It became my flying bag because I need a lot of things with me when I go flying, and I like that I have very easy access to everything. So this bag sits right behind me when I fly. So if needed, I can reach behind me and grab something in here pretty easily. I will show you what I have inside. I have a knee board. This is from Amazon. This is on every single time I fly. It has a lot of cheat codes here if ever needed. It's super convenient. I have printed out the map of my home airport with the frequencies for ATIS, ground, tower, the pattern altitude, and the phone number for the tower just in case. And to have my checklist, which is always there as well. My headset. I have a Lightspeed Zulu and it's awesome. It has noise canceling. You can listen to music, which I truly don't do very often, but it's nice to have that option. So highly recommend. Next thing I have in here are my glasses. I cannot identify traffic when I'm not wearing them, so I wear these every single flight. My Sentry, super important piece of equipment that I always have fully charged. Airplanes can see me, I can see them. This is an essential, expensive piece of equipment that you're gonna have to have. I have a headlamp. I do not fly at night very often, but when I do, you need a headlamp for a variety of reasons. If you're gonna pre-flight in the dark, you need something to illuminate your plane in case any of the lights in the plane were to go out, you can still see your instruments. And this has a red tone as well, which is really good for protecting your night vision. And it also has lots of other options. So such a cheap piece of equipment just to keep in your plane at all times for emergency reasons. Going in no particular order here. I have a sectional just in case. You never know what's going to happen. This is one I'm really glad I started carrying, and there is a special story as to what prompted me to keep this in my plane. This is a Leatherman, so it's basically just like a multi-tool knife. But there was a story when our flight school owner, who is also a DPE, was giving somebody a check ride, and their landing gear, the piece of equipment that you use to put the gear down, broke off in their hand. So they had no way to put their gear down. So as they were circling the airport trying to figure out what to do, one of them had a Leatherman, and they were able to open it up to this mode and stick these narrow needle nose pliers into the part that got broken off, and they were able to put the gear down that way. And I thought, so many pieces of plastic on these planes can just easily break off in your hand that I think keeping one in the plane is awesome. There's also screwdrivers, so I'm tightening screws that are loose, which happens pretty much, every other flight. I have a power bank that I always keep charged. This has something like 12 hours of battery life in it, so this can charge my phone or my iPad or my Sentry. And I recommend a backup for the backup. So this is another power bank. I have an iPad mini, and that just snaps right into the iPad holder that I have that is suctioned to the pilot side window. And I pull up ForeFlight on here, and I use this for all my flight planning, weather, anything like that. Highly recommend it. A new one I added recently is a handheld radio, which works absolutely beautifully. Highly recommend this in case you ever have an electrical issue on your plane or an alternator issue. You will still have a radio. This one you can plug your headset into also. I have a little emergency kit here with a blanket in a bag. It's super tiny, but apparently this will keep you warm. I have tissues, Band-Aids, Neosporin, and alcohol wipes just in case something happens flying or in the hangar. A pad of paper is always very helpful to have for writing down the ATIS, writing down directions, especially at new airports where I'm not really familiar with the taxiways. If I get a long set of instructions, I'm not going to be able to memorize that. I like to write it pen to paper just so I have it in front of me. So these little free notepads that come from the place where I buy my chicken feed are very helpful. Thanks, Martins. I have a few snacks in here, RX bar, This has seen some better days, but basically just a little bit of sugar in case my blood sugar gets low or I just feel like I need to eat something. I have at least a few calories on the plane at all times. And I have my logbook, which I have had since I was 14 years old. So this was actually older than my instructor, and I'm still using it. I have a lot of pages left to fill. I also have my daughter's logbook I just keep in here, and she logged her first lesson at 7 years old, which I think is pretty cool. So she beat me by 7 years. Hopefully, this gives you a few ideas for your own flight bag. If there's something you never fly without, tell me in the comments. Safe flying, guys.